Hello, welcome to Win Some Loosemore. My name is Dieter and you join me for a Why I Like, a series of videos where I take you through some of the games in our collection and tell you why I like them. Today I'll be telling you why I like Race for the Galaxy. Race for the Galaxy is a simultaneous action selection card game with a good amount of symbology, so I'll do my best right now to tell you a little bit of how it works, and then we'll come back and I'll tell you why I like Race for the Galaxy. So here I've set the game up for 3 people. We've got a green player here, blue and red, each with a hand of numbered actions that we'll be choosing from each round. Everybody starts with a starting world, which do slightly different things, but most importantly for the type of setup I've done, we look at the number, pull out all the cards from the deck that have that number in the corner. That's just a quick start way of having your opening hand. You could also just deal 6 random cards and choose 4 of them to keep, but this is a good way if you're a new player. There's a massive stack of cards in the middle that we will work our way through. I will not be going through every single rule, every single possible combination, that kind of thing, partly just because there's a lot of it and I'm liable to get bits wrong. I'm still getting better at teaching this game, but even just the basic overview, this is one of the player aids and it's double-sided because there's just that much information, and so I'll show you more of just how it works rather than trying to explain every little thing. For the sake of this example, I am the green player, so I'm going to choose one of the actions to do. There are 5, but 2 of them have 2 different variations, number 1 and number 4. If you want to get more cards into your hand, you use a number 1. And there are 2 different types, either explore +5, which means you draw 7 cards, and keep 1 of them, or you explore, in which you draw 3 cards and keep 2, because regardless of who plays a number 1, if a number 1 is played, then everybody draws 2 cards and keeps 1. There is a basic version of every action, of every numbered action, and then a bonus version if you are the person that played it. Even if more than one person played it, if you are one of those people, you get the bonus version. Number 2 is develop. There are 2 main types of cards in your hand. They are planets and technologies. Planets have the circles at the top, technologies have the diamonds. If you want to build one of your technologies, you must place number 2, which is develop. Number 3, similarly, is how you place out planets. It is settle. Again, there are variations within that. There's military, non-military, production, windfall. There's lots of variation I just won't go into too much now. Number 5, I'm going to skip to. I'll come back to number 4. Number 5 is how you produce goods on your planets. So you'll see my starting planet has a blue colored in symbol. It's a blue planet, and if I produce number 5, it says I get a card on this one. So if I were to play that, I would just take a card, I wouldn't look at what it is, and I would tuck it underneath and show that that planet has produced. If in the future, now I come back to number 4, I play one of the number 4s, that allows me to do something with this card that I've produced, either gaining victory points or gaining more cards by consuming it. But again, those are the trickier actions that I will only really try and explain if we come to it. The core concept in this is that this is simultaneous action selection, in which everybody chooses one of the action cards in secret. We place it face down and reveal it all at the same time. I've just realized I forgot to put out victory points, because this is a potential end game trigger. For a 3-player game, you need 36 of them because it is 12 per player. So that's, what's that? That's 10, is it? Yes, 20, 30, 5, 36. You can earn these throughout the game, either by using that number 4 action, or some cards may just tell you to get victory points. It's called Race for the Galaxy because it is a race. Everybody starts with their single starting card, but as you go through, you will build them, again, either the planets or the technologies, and when somebody has 12 of them, that's one of the triggers for the end of the game. So it's a race to get 12 cards down, or when all 36 of the victory point tokens have gone, and obviously we've got change here, so we can change the denomination if we so need. If all the chips have gone, that's another one. So it is a literal race. And so let's say I want to, on my first turn, I want to build this space world. We look at the number in the circle, that's its cost. In this game, cards are everything. So 2 costs, so I want to settle that planet, so I'm going to play number 3, because that allows me to play a planet. I do that. Each of these players, I'm just going to pick one at random. I don't know what order their cards are in, and they're going to do this one. So everybody's chosen the action they want to do. Everybody flips. And we've got 1 number 2 and 2 number 3s. So everybody does all of those actions in numerical order, in turn order. So this person gets to develop. And so let's see which one they wanted to develop. They probably want to do mining robots. So they get to build this. This has a cost of 2, but because they are the person that played the develop card, they get to do it for 1 cheaper. So they get to add this into their tableau and spend 1 card, which just means discard one of your cards. They're going to get rid of this one and add it to a discard pile. So they've paid 1 for that technology. At the end of the game, that one is going to be worth 1 point, because you'll notice next to the cost number, there is also a number in a hexagon. That just means points at the ends of the game. So I am now next clockwise, so I get to develop if I so choose. I am not going to, because if I did, I wouldn't be able to afford to settle, which is the thing I actually want to do. This person is in the same position as me. They do not want to, because they would then not be able to afford to settle, which they want to do. And then it comes to me clockwise. We're doing number 3, so I get to settle first. So I'm going to place this one and spend these 2, just discard them. Now the bonus of me settling and using the action that I'd played is I get to draw an additional card. Each action has a different type of bonus. So I've gained another card, that's good. And this person also played settle, so they're going to spend all 3. No, let's do the yellow one. I'm going to spend all 3 to build this one. It's a cost of 3. Now, I showed you my one. It was filled in blue. This one has a ring around it. So the center is white, but the ring around it is yellow. That means it immediately comes with a good. That's called a windfall planet. I would need to produce to get it. So that's the end of a round. Everybody's chosen their action. It goes back. It goes back, it goes back, and we choose again. And so the game goes on. We build our tableaus first to 12, or we're selling, making points and new cards when this runs out. And at the end, we count up the points in the little hexagons, any tokens that we may have. As I say, those 6 technologies give us a more varied amount of points depending on how well we've achieved it, and whoever has the most points at the end wins. So why do I like Race for the Galaxy? It's not pretty. I'm not sure I've met anybody that thinks it's pretty, but it is fast and it is fun, and I've just had a great time with this. I'm still not very good at teaching it yet, just because of that action for the 2 different types and what consuming and trading, that bit is what seems to trip a lot of people up, and I know it to play it, and I probably did a bad job explaining it just a minute ago. So I'm getting better at teaching it with the more I do it, but there's still, it's just a little bit overly dense. All of these are bad things. I'm just trying to get them out of the way first, because if you can get past those, if you get a good teacher, or if you're willing to push through, this is such a satisfying game. That it is simultaneous in the selection, it just speeds up the game. It's not, oh, I'm going to do this and then I do this and then we do that. The core concept of everybody chooses the action in theory that they want to do and then show that, but everybody gets all of the actions that are shown is a brilliant one. But I get a better version of the one that I played. That's great. That is such a clever idea that is then shown up in other games as well. And it's just a lot of fun. Very simple. So it adds the extra element of it matters what other people at the table do. Yes, I want to settle this turn, but it'd be nice if I could actually get some more cards. So do I play number one, which gets me more cards, or the settle action and going, actually, that person's got no cards. They're most likely going to play the settle action. Okay, so I won't play, they're most likely to play the explore action, so I'll let them do that. So I know I'm going to get some at least, or like a card, that's okay. Because I've actually got cards in my tableau that add to that. And so that engine building aspect makes it a lot of fun, that you can make each of the actions, regardless of whether you played them or not, better based on the little, again, tricky iconography, but once you get your head around it, just really satisfying building out that engine. I don't often win because I forget what the title tells me, that it is a race. It's called Race for the Galaxy, and I think it's called Optimize your cards in front of you for the galaxy. It's not. You've got to race, lay down 12 cards as quick as you can, really. There's some thought that when do I trigger the last one to let other people do different things, or do I want to go for some of those big 6-point technologies that actually will score me? So I don't care about triggering it because I think I'm going to get enough points another way. Just provides a lot of choices that are a lot of fun. We've played the much smaller version of this called Jump Drive, and we had that first, and it was okay. Kirsty really enjoyed it. But it was just over too quick, and it just left me feeling, this needs something, it just needs something more. And I was really hopeful that when I played this, that it would provide that, and it does. It really does. It adds the excellent sense of choice and playing out the way that you like. Now, I don't often talk about expansions in these videos, but I will mention the first expansion. I can't see the box, I should have grabbed it. I think it's called On the Brink. But the first expansion, firstly, adds a 5th player, so you can play it with more people, which is great. And it adds a solo mode, which I've tried, which is fine. It's a little bit luck of the roll, but it's good. But what it adds, that I now just keep in the base box, are goal tiles, both mid-game and end of game. Whoever has the most of something, or the mid-game, the first to do this gets those. For the way I think, the way I play, I am much more a mid-term goal-oriented person. Those are the games that I really enjoy, not here's the whole board, here's the setup, but come up with a strategy, go. I'm not very good at that. And the purely tactical things over and over and over again just aren't as satisfying for me. But to go, okay, here's your strategy, here's what you're aiming for, but to help you do that, why not go for this thing or 2 of these things? Brilliant. Suddenly frees up my mind and gives opportunities to get other points. Sometimes you might just have won one of the end of the game ones without realizing it. So just that option, I would recommend the first expansion if that's something that you enjoy like I do. If not, base game, 2 to 4, excellent Race for the Galaxy. So that's why I like it. Thank you very much for watching. Do subscribe to this channel if you don't already, and hit the bell icon so you stay updated when we put out new videos. We'd love to be in contact with you, so do follow us on social media. Search Win Some Loosemore and you'll find us. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you have enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you again. I have been Dieter for Win Some Loosemore. Goodbye.